All right, what is going on, everybody? My name is Crazy Monkey Crypto. If it's your first time here, we talk about crypto mining, pretty much anything related to crypto news, DePIN, ASIC, GPU, CPU mining. Welcome in. Love to have you here. Consider hitting that subscribe, like, comment button if this video is helpful or brought you some sort of new knowledge. Today, we are going to be going over what the KawPow algorithm is, kind of like where it got its basis and why it could be a very favorable option for strong conviction GPU coins. And that's because it's definitely unique compared to other algorithms. So, okay, let's jump right in. So as this says, X16R was the first mining algorithm released for Ravencoin mining. Now, quick note, Ravencoin is kind of like one of the OGs of GPU mining coins. I believe it's been around for like 6-ish years. Don't take my word too serious on that, but it's been around quite a while. So it originally was launched on this X16R, and it says it brings in a different approach to cryptocurrency mining. It runs 16 hash functions in series, and it was designed to be problematic to implement in ASIC devices. So, X16R functions in such a way that the hash rate constantly varies, and the hash rate of the next block to be mined is determined by the complexity of the hash functions for the next block. Sequence of a hash function for the next block to be mined is determined by the previous block. So it doesn't exert much effect on the mining device's GPU, and miners can easily decipher the best ways to modify. So, essentially what this is saying, I believe, is there's like 16 different parts that they plug into this KawPow algorithm, and basically what part gets uploaded next depends on the previously uploaded, what they call hash function. And so by doing this, they essentially are kind of randomizing it, and so it makes it a lot harder to design ASIC devices, as we'll read in this next paragraph. So then they came out with X16 RV2. It's a really original name. So as they say, it adds more features to further complicate Ravencoin mining for ASIC devices. It introduces newer hashing functions that ASICs haven't been modified to mine upon into the Ravencoin network. So essentially, the blockchain developers or whoever comes up with this KawPow mining algorithm, they can, from what my understanding is, upload kind of like these new hashing functions, and so that would basically trick the ASIC miner into not knowing what to do or not knowing what to mine, and so essentially rendering them useless until like a firmware update was released to incorporate those changes. But by then, the whole point is that the developers of KawPow could push out updates fast enough that it would not be worth trying to compensate, say like for Bitmain, to constantly be pushing out firmware updates to compensate for this. So it says, unfortunately, implementing ASIC resistance in a mining system is an unending struggle and a continuous process, as ASICs have also been modified to breach the limitations of ASIC-resistant mining algorithms. Because of this, Ravencoin developers would soon implement a new mining algorithm known as the KawPow algorithm. So it says in May 6th of 2020, they transitioned to KawPow. It's a modification of ProgPow, initially designed for Ethereum. The KawPow algorithm utilizes over-the-counter GPU memory and computing abilities. So what is interesting is KawPow uses both the core and the memory. Now, there are coins that use the core, there are coins that use the memory, and then there are coins that use both. Now, the coins that in general are very low power, can be pretty efficient, that have been recent, you think of stuff like alephium. Now, alephium is a core-dependent coin, and so typically for coins like that, the process is GPU, FPGA, ASICs. Just because they end up being very easy to run, you can be very efficient with them, and so as the price kind of picks up and Steam picks up, FPGAs and ASICs pick up those coins. Now, Ethereum is considered a memory-based algorithm, and so this uses the memory on your GPU. Now, Ethereum was kind of unique because it had the emission to accommodate for both GPUs and ASIC miners. So it was memory, what they call like a memory hard algorithm, but it still could incorporate GPUs and ASICs because Ethereum was just so big, like in the last bull run. Now, KawPow uses memory and core. And so why a lot of people don't like mining KawPow is because it uses a lot of power and it's generally harder on your GPUs because it's using the full memory and the full core. But this is also what leads to kind of the ASIC resistance, is that they're able to utilize the full memory and the full core in addition to these. What I believe they're still doing is uploading these like hashing functions, and they have 16 of them at any given time, and so that makes it very difficult for ASIC companies to want to pursue ASICs on this algorithm because it's constantly being updated and constantly being tweaked so that ASICs, you know, would not be able to run, or at least would not be able to run very efficiently. Thus, the efficiency they'd be able to achieve, I believe in theory, is not much higher than a GPU. And so there's no real point for them when they could develop ASIC miners for stuff like alephium, where they pretty much know there's going to be profits because it's a relatively easy mining algorithm. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. We'll just show you real quick. So over here on my HiveOS, you guys can see, I'll update just to be certain. So you guys can see that this algorithm, you can see this hash rate on this algorithm is constantly varying. You can see every 5 minutes there's something different. It goes all the way up, I've seen, to like 210 and then drops all the way down to, it says like 179. And so this makes it a little bit hard to get a super accurate assessment of, you know, like what your average hash rate is, but you just have to let it run for multiple days and then you can kind of figure out kind of what your average is. And this is because of those hash functions. Like they said, they're constantly kind of like tweaking those hash functions and the way that they're implemented, and so that's why you see your hash rate constantly varying on KawPow versus some algorithms like, for example, Radiant. I believe it runs on a version of SHA-256. Your hash rate is completely constant, or Alephium completely constant, kaspa completely constant. This will just be a flat line. So alright guys, I hope this was at least semi-helpful. If you're thinking about mining KawPow coins, you know, there are a lot. It seems like this is kind of the only algorithm that is dedicated to sticking with GPUs, and so I would not be surprised to see, you know, maybe some newer versions of KawPow and try to bring down power draw and thus heat, especially with the summer coming, while still maintaining that ASIC resistance, which makes it very likable for coins that want to launch and be GPU mineable. So if you enjoyed it, please leave a like button. It really helps push the video out to new people. Consider hitting that subscribe button. It's no cost to you. It only helps me grow and continue making new videos. And leave a comment down below. Let me know, did you guys know this about KawPow? Did you learn something new? Did I get something wrong? Please let me know down below. I love interacting with you guys in the comments. All right, peace out. Happy mining.